Okay, so today I'm playing Smite for the first time in many years, and I never really played it that much. Probably just a couple of games here and there, on and off. So I can't say it's my first time ever playing the game, but this is a format I always like to do with multiplayer games, and often when I am playing them for the first time. So the most recent one I did was Paladins, but it's basically a format where, and that was also my first time ever playing the game. Right, and so it's a format that I've done like with Overwatch. You can do it with League of Legends. I've done it with Smash Brothers. I do it, just because I love permadeath runs overall. In like a normal sense, I always apply it to multiplayer games as well in sort of a unique format. So it's like you play as every character until you lose a game, not until you die. You could do it in that sense if you're literally a god gamer. Like if you die in the course of a game one time, that counts as a death, and you can no longer play that character. But that's kind of extreme. This is more just extrapolated in the multiplayer sense, like you play until you lose a game in like the main primary team-based match, like a 5v5 or whatever it is, right? Until you lose a match with that hero, then you move on to the next one, and when you run out, it's over. And it'll also be sort of free to play in that sense. So only if there's like free ones that they give you every week, or only if I unlock with more with the currency that I earn in the course of the run, right, would I be able to play other ones. Otherwise I'll just run out and then it's over, right? The whole series is over. And so like with Paladins, I was able to abuse that a little bit, because since I only do this series once a week, right, all my categories, like I have a 7-day schedule where I do something different every day. So I'd only be doing this like every Wednesday. So it would mean that if they do give you free ones on like a weekly rotation, the way that like League does that sometimes and other games do that, it means that I could keep exploiting, and like I'll never run out of them until I play every single one in the game, because they always give you a free one every week to use. So even if I lose every single game, I still get to keep going. But then the main thing is just it's a net positive where you get to try all of them, and then it's just a matter of how many games you win with each, not really a question of whether you'll get to play them all or not. So that's what ended up happening with Paladins. I got to play every single one, even though my performance in that game wasn't that good. And I'm not claiming to really be that good at these games. Again, it's just a format I like to do, and it's a good way to sort of give context to multiplayer games that otherwise, it feels like you could just play them forever without any sort of structure to them. All right, so for all intents and purposes, it's also sort of a first playthrough, because again, I've never really played the game any meaningful amount. But I always did say I like this game's sort of perspective more than League. And yeah, I played League a little more, although when you say that, it seems like, oh, you must have played it a lot because, people are so hardcore and it's such a competitive game, and there's nothing even wrong with that. But no, I mean, like, I played it still a very little amount relative to what you would expect. But I played it more so at the beginning, like 2009 to 2012 range, like closer to when it first came out and was sort of newer on the market, where, and I really loved Kale. There were like three characters that I liked. I liked Kale because she was like this early game aggro, whatever, crazy champion that you could just get kills early and it was fun. Not that that's even necessarily my preferred style, but that was just sort of a fun dynamic. And I'm not even going to say, oh, I was that good with her, but I really liked her. And then I always go on this rant whenever I play a game like this about how they changed Kale and did a 180. So around 2016, then I came back to playing it a little bit, and I go on Kale, and everyone's like, what the fuck are you doing? Why are you playing so aggressively? Because they did a complete 180 and changed how she works completely. It's not that, oh, they just nerfed her or made her weaker or something like that, or made some minor change. No, they completely reworked the character, so now it worked like, instead of being an early game aggro sort of champion, now she's like a late game control, sort of slow pace ramp sort of character, where you got to wait till like you're level 16 or something, and now you become really strong and you have to play defensively in the early game. It's like there's so many other characters that could fit into that sort of structure. Why would you need to take one that works the exact opposite way? It's like you take a tank and make it a healer, or you make take a healer and make it a damage character. Like, it doesn't make sense why you would do that. And then Udyr, which is like the Meta Knight effect. I didn't know necessarily at the time, but people would always complain about it. Of course, people always complain about everything, like fucking change metagame, every week they'll do a buff, they'll do a nerf, and then they'll complain about that too. Like, there's an illusion of balance in these games that's like very, you're never going to be fully balanced. Whenever a new character comes out, all the even pro players complain. Like in League, I remember that so many times, like with that stupid Alice in Wonderland chick with the scissors, Gwen or something, right? People complain, oh, she ruins the game, she's too strong. But it's like, well, you can use them too, so it balances it out. And it's like, I get the power creep element, that there'd be an incentive to do that, to try to get you to buy or be interested in the new content that they're doing. Like, that happens all the time with card games. but at the same time it feels kind of a little salty to do that. Like professional players will say, oh, these new characters should be banned because they're not properly balanced yet, assuming that the best champions in the game are not going to be imbalanced anyway. Like the reason why certain ones are played more than others is probably because they're not perfectly balanced either, right? They're a little stronger in certain ways or whatever. That's always how it works. Like with card game analogy again, like the best decks are always going to be a little bit broken, and that's why. And then as soon as they're fixed, then something else will be broken. Like it's never going to be perfect, but there's always that illusion of balance that you have with multiplayer games. And I saw this little announcement, actually, what are the chances of this, like right around when I happen to be playing this, that SMITE 2 is apparently coming out around July 30th or something, it said. I had no idea even about that. So that'll come out before Arc 2 ever comes out. Everybody pissed about how, instead of Arc 2, they get Arc, what is it called? Like Survival Ascended. It's more like a remake, 1.5, whatever. But yeah, I didn't know that SMITE 2 was even on the table. But that is kind of cool. But that's as good of an excuse to play this as anything. Like to work my way up to doing that. So then after this one, I could eventually do that later on. We get a -1 already that it doesn't have a custom cursor. Right, or maybe it will once you get in the game. So in this game, they're not called champions or heroes or paladins, I guess. Not that they really even call them that in Paladins, but they're called actual gods, which is interesting. Just, I guess that's all I remember. Like I played Anubis or something a little bit, or some characters like that. So everything is going to be based on some sort of mythological creature or god or something of the sort. And this is one of those games that actually has drops on Twitch. So I guess I never turned that off, so I guess it's fine. It's like a net positive. It's one of those things I normally wouldn't want to do, but I guess it doesn't hurt. Like just by, somebody watching you, they get like some sort of bonus in the game or something. I always found that funny when chess would do that. Like chess.com will give you a free subscription for a month or something if they watch you playing chess. Like how would they even know that you're playing on chess.com? Right, like if you're streaming the chess category, but you're using like a chess or something, right, some other competing website, but it would still give you that. Last updated February 16th. Does that mean this game is actually losing support because they're going to focus now on the sequel or something like that? Like this game will go offline? I honestly had no idea, though, that was even on the table. So what else? Like this was a game I always said I like more than League because of the perspective of it. Like the overhead, it's almost like my Diablo versus other games criticism. Like I don't like the Diablo perspective where you're looking at it from like a bird's eye view above your character, where your character is so small and it's like quantity over quality and enemy encounters and loot and all of that. So I don't like how separated that perspective makes you feel from your character, right? Where it's almost like you're controlling a single unit in an RTS game. But what an RTS game would do to make up for that is the fact that you're controlling a whole army, but now you're only controlling one unit, but the camera perspective is the same, versus like a third-person over-the-shoulder perspective that you get in games like Dark Souls or whatever, just more standard. Even like in platformers and stuff like that. So that's my preference here, is that you get to actually see it more over the shoulder, and it's like meant to actually be played that way. Not like, you could just zoom in a lot of other games, but it doesn't really work because you're meant to see the whole map and things like that. Puts you at a disadvantage. So that's one thing about this game that I would like more than League just innately. And one thing I'm not going to worry too much about is like the shop system. I'm not going to look stuff up or metagame necessarily with it, which you would think at the low rank, right, I'm just going to be playing unranked or whatever lowest rank that we'd start at least, like bronze or something. So you wouldn't think you should need to worry about that, but these games can be so crazily competitive that even there, people still are metagaming, or they'll have certain add-ons that'll tell them what to do, or they'll just look stuff up, and that's the part that I find so annoying and cancerous about League, right? It's not the fact that, oh, it's competitive and, you get good and this and that. It's that you could be playing unranked and people are like that, or you could be playing a bronze, the lowest possible rank or something, and people will still be like that. That's what I don't get. It's like, yes, if you want to go play esports or you're a diamond or all this kind of stuff, people get delusional and egotistical about it because, oh, there's like, we're not just playing a game and just derping around. We're trying to be a professional. We're trying to, have an esports career. Like everybody gets that in their head. It's kind of like chess, where like, again, even at the low rating, you could be literally sub 2000, 1500 rating garbage level, but people are still studying and still, metagaming, doing stuff like that. That's what I sort of object to, is you're not really proving anything, and it kind of makes it less fun because then it's the trickle down effect, right? You're trying to supplant. So if you just play the game like I would do, like just blind and like I don't really care about all that, you can't really do that because you'll get punished by, oh, you have to use the optimal builds even at a low level. So it's less about then the mechanics, and it's so much more about, oh, well, you're just building it the right way, and that's just all that matters, and that's gonna circumvent everything else. But if there's like an auto purchase option, like that's what I was even doing in Paladins. That was like a very multi-layered format run. It's the first playthrough. It's a permadeath champion run where if you lose, you play as the next champion, and you can't play as that same one anymore. And when you run out, it's over. And then number 3, it was a no shop run basically. Either I didn't use the shop at all for the beginning because I didn't even know like there was one, or I didn't really care. And then I just auto purchased. I never manually purchased anything. And you might say, oh, that's somehow a negative thing, or I could use that as an excuse, but it's really not, because again, it's more about the core mechanics. You're just trying to play the game straight up, and quite frankly, this works better with games like where there is no shop. So then that's not even a factor. Like Overwatch is good for that. Like you just play it with the base mechanics and the characters, and you get a chance to try all the characters and stuff like that. Although I guess I didn't get a chance to try all the characters with Overwatch 2 because they don't give you the free weekly rotation, so I didn't actually unlock them all because I did so badly. Yeah, I had done Overwatch 2 like this. I had done obviously Paladins recently. So what else is there to say? Just one thing that bothered me about this game is I had looked it up the other day, and it actually says it's considered a casual game. It even says that in the description itself. This is like a casual MOBA. Just because the perspective is different and everything like that, I didn't know it was actually categorized differently in that way, though. Like, it doesn't have to be casual. There could still be esports for it. It could still be super competitive. You know, it's as casual or as hardcore as you want it to be, right? You can play League casually if you want. It's just people happen to take it seriously. That doesn't mean it's anything different. And it's like the same Georgia peach icon at the beginning here that we have with Paladins. Like, are these made somehow by the same company? Login queue. We appreciate your patience. Why should I have to wait in a queue, dude? This game's probably filled with bots and is dying out, even though I don't think that's necessarily true at all. But the sequel certainly would create a certain hype. All clan rosters have been reset. I don't even care about all that. Play, compete, win, earn rewards. Or is this going to be one of those games where literally the whole run of what I do, I'm not even going to unlock the ability to play in ranked mode? Like, I don't understand why they even do that. You'll play an unranked and you have to like unlock every character in the game before you can play ranked, or you have to like get to a certain level, and like that'll take a super long time. The whole point of it is you should be able to play it ranked from the beginning, but you just play at a low rank. That's the whole point. So you start playing at bronze and you might get hard stuck there or whatever, right? But what is the point of unranked being forced for such a long period of time? SMITE consistently has new events, participate, earn rewards. So we have to play some sort of main flagship mode, so it's fair to every character, where it's like, you know, some sort of team-based, objective-based thing, right? Kind of like the primary game mode, where like in Paladins, I guess I had some variety there. Like some was push the payload and this and that, but it still has to be team-based, because it's not going to be like if I just die, right, it's going to work like that. I have to probably change the graphic settings because it couldn't detect anything there. I don't know why my username is all fucked up like that either. Does that mean I actually did play on this? Because I don't feel like I did. In fact, I almost want to welcome pass. I almost want to play it like fresh where I'm not like that. I don't remember when the hell I would have played this. Visit the welcome pass. What the fuck? I don't want to see this. Each event has its own set of rewards and conditions. The welcome pass. Completing matches. Let's play. Let's play. I don't really want to right now, though. Yeah, like, how would I just do new preferred region has been added? Choose for one of your matches. West, North America is fine. Daily reward. I hate all these kind of mechanics like that try to insidiously get you addicted to the game or something. Can I like change my name, or can I just, yeah, how would I even do this if I wanted to? Like, I guess I didn't do much on there, so maybe it doesn't matter, but I just kind of wanted it to be as fresh as possible. Like, when did I use this account? I don't think I ranked placement conquest year 11. Maybe that would tell me Joust year 11. That must have been the time when I actually played. Did I actually maybe do this even on stream? It might have been on my old channel, or it might have been, I don't think I did though. God 17. I don't understand this though. This kind of taints it in the sense that how would I do that? Like, how would you delete your account and redo it? I guess I could just like make a different account or use a different account. Like, I really want it to be as fresh as possible in that way, and I don't really understand. But if we just look at the gods for a second, or let me change my graphic settings. This kind of stuff is annoying because it's gonna like link it to your Steam account. But what if I just want to do it in some other way? Like, I want to log out and just, you know what I mean? Like, let's say this isn't my account and I'm actually like a gold diamond rank player and I want to just switch, right? There should be a way for it to simply do that. But no, I definitely like the perspective of this kind of game better, and I also like kind of games with no shop, which of course this is going to have. At least I'm pretty positive. I can't actually remember. Worshippers. But yeah, I remember playing either, was it Ra, or it was some kind of Anubis. Like, yeah, oh, it's just called Anubis too. Account. So can we just change this altogether? Account email linking. God damn it, is this gonna cuck my ability to actually do anything? I really think it's suited, because whatever we have here is not going to be very meaningful anyway, but just for the purity of the run, I feel like we should start completely from scratch as if we're playing it for the first time, which we almost kind of are. So SMITE, change, account, or I guess I could just do it on some other, no, but then I would have to re-download it. How do I change SMITE accounts? As supportive thing, can unbind your account from your Steam account. You can't anymore since no launcher, your account is linked to your Steam. But then you could still, no Steam. You should be able to log out in main menu and pressing escape button. Okay, let's try to figure this out. Today is mostly just an intro episode anyway, so I don't really want to do too much, but I at least want to play as like one of them. Or I guess I could be able to do it from the settings maybe. But especially the video, it didn't detect, so I mean, you should be able to handle maximum and stuff. Right, I don't see why it would be a problem. But no, clearly if I die or struggle, it'll be because my computer can't handle the fucking elite graphics of this relatively old game. I don't actually know even when it came out. But no, I hate that they describe it that way. They're like, oh, it's somehow a casual mobile. Like, why the fuck does it have to be labeled as that? Maybe because they want to separate it from the cancerous nature of some of these games, but the only thing I can think of is I'd almost have to do it on a different Steam account somehow, and I almost don't even want to do that, but there's no reason why I should continue this unless I have a certain number of heroes that... No, but even that wouldn't be fair. It should be totally pure, so hang on. It wouldn't be the beginning of a new format without some sort of technical issue anytime I start a series, but that's fine. That's kind of all the session is meant to do, and so this should work now, so we'll play it like totally fresh as if we've never played it before, and even if you have played it before, right, to whatever small extent I have, it's going to be so different now when you come back to a multiplayer game after years when there's been so many updates and changes, and I'm not going to remember anything. Like, forget about even the nuances of the shop. Like, oh, I don't want to worry about the shop, and I'm not going to look it up and metagame that. I don't even know the maps or how, you know, really the lanes work. Like, I would assume it'd be similar to other similar, you know, MOBA games, but I'm not going to know it 100% on the nose. And so the thing, again, not only is the perspective of this better than like League, with it being more, you know, over the shoulder and more immersive that way, but even it's less about auto attacking and more about skill shots. Like, you don't just click on what you're attacking and it just automatically does it, right? Sure, there's abilities in both games, but it's a little different. You don't just click and then it's auto attacking, whether melee or spells or something. It's more like a skill shot, right? Like, even your auto attack, you have to aim and kind of hit with it, which usually is not a very high skilled thing. Like, it, you know, it's going to be a pretty generous hitbox, but I still like those elements at least a little more. So I'm actually going to say no, just for the purposes of, no, there's no linking, just, what if we just want to play? Continue without linking, we won't ask again. But as long as you get to just play the game, we appreciate your patience. I don't know why you keep saying that. Like, why should there be a queue to play the game? Is it really that popular? Or maybe they just cut down on server space? So there's a few other considerations, like what could be another failure state that we have? Like, if they don't give you the free heroes on a weekly rotation, if they do, then I'm pretty much guaranteed to play all of them, because whatever, no matter how bad I do, or even if I lose every game, that's fine. Then it's just a matter of seeing how well I do with each one, which is ultimately what Paladins turned into, even though that wasn't my original intention. The other format that I could potentially have, which I'll leave on reserve for now, depending on how we see how the game works, could be like I have to at least play 2 games every time. That means or I have to play 2, or at least I have to win 1, which what that would do is at least it forces you to play multiple. In other words, if I play as one character and I lose the first game immediately, then that character is gone, so now I have to play as the second one. And so that puts pressure that even if they are giving you some free ones, you might run out of them that way. So either you have to keep playing them. So if you lose like 5 in a row, you've gone through 5 heroes, and now you have to play a 6th one, right? So you at least have to win 1 game every session, or you have to play as at least 2 heroes every session, which means, you know, if you lose the first one, you have to play, so you'll play a total of 2 games no matter what, guaranteed. I'm not even going to say those conditions though, because again, we'll just see what they give us to start with, and I'm fine with just using my username overall here. There really should be a way to just log out like that though, if you want to just use another account rather than having to like use another Steam account altogether. And I'll get banned for even potentially saying that, but I don't see why it would even matter. Like, I'm just trying to start fresh, you know. I was only like level 1 anyway, so even to whatever, yeah, I want to see the tutorial too. Even to whatever extent I might have played, I doubt that was even the account on which I did it too. Welcome to the SMITE tutorial.
In this tutorial, you will control Neith, the Egyptian weaver of fate. Let's begin by practicing navigation.
Why does the cursor seem so fucked out?
D keys to move, and use the mouse to turn.
Yeah, but
Outside of your base to continue.
they didn't even take much liberty with the names. I thought they would be extrapolations on them instead of Thor, like it's something else similar. You know, he's based on Thor. Like even Anubis, I thought, oh, that Anubis guy, but he's actually just called fucking Anubis. Why does this cursor seem so weird? Is it just part of the tutorial or what? Like, I'm going down. It's like pilot controls, but it's also weird.
Turn to the middle of the arena, where your minions are already clashing with the enemy.
Okay. I'm not really sure. Why does it feel so janky?
Use the mouse to aim, and press the left mouse button.
Yeah, see, even this is more... You're supposed to probably hold it down, but I'm more of a tapper myself. I prefer to tap it because it's like, oh, you're more so timing it.
Level up.
And one mechanic I never really liked.
Press F1 to unlock Spirit Arrow, Neith's first ability.
One thing I never really liked is how, oh, you have to get the final kill on creeps. Like, I don't care about that. Like, I just want to, you know what I mean? It should reward you in some proportion to how much damage you do to them, too. Otherwise, you just stand there and wait to finish it off. Like, that's kind of a stupid mechanic. I never understood why. It should be both. Like,
Is a line attack that can strike multiple enemies within its highlighted area. Press 1 to bring up the targeter. By default, your abilities will be
defeat archer, swordsman, and gladiator minions. Even the tutorial is starting off like so fast paced. So what do these portals actually do? Oh, I can't actually go through them. But no, there is something more hands-on and enjoyable about the base mechanics, even to this extent, right? Just having to aim your basic thing and having to everything be a skill shot. Although I imagine there's a lot more stuff like that in League even now, and there always were skill shot abilities, but
and have access to your ultimate ability, which is very important for team fighting.
so F4.
Keep your distance and try to aim each basic attack to ensure maximum damage. Use your Spirit Arrow and World Weaver Ultimate to snipe low health enemies trying to retreat.
See, what is this? Like, I'm going up.
Try to defeat several enemy gods.
I gotta turn that shit off. Like, I'm going up with it, but it's getting stuck. Why the fuck is my mouse getting stuck? Tickets. I don't know what all the mechanics really of the game are, but... Is this my ultimate then? The 4? Right mouse button to cancel. I don't know entirely what that did. Or you know what I would sometimes do even in Paladins? I won't say there's no... Like, there's a rule against... I won't say there's a rule against even doing practice games, but generally speaking, it shouldn't be to practice really a hero, because I want the first game as a hero to be kind of my first time playing as them. It's more so just, this is fine just to try the base mechanics, but it's not that I'm not allowed to do that, but I often wouldn't do that. And more to the point, I don't really understand or like we're within their turret range. Obviously, all these games work the same, so of course, you know, they would expect that you know exactly what you're doing too. But oh yeah, I keep forgetting to learn something here. If I die as this character, even in the tutorial, that means I can't play as them anymore. Haha. Even though that's not even how the format works at all. Yeah, people would say just hold down the button too. Like, why do I keep clicking off it? But no, like even I won't even read the abilities, and I'll just, you know, try to improvise and figure it out like that
Well done.
as I just go through
Help your team
his kind of face roll.
defeat the enemy force. The extra points earned will help secure your victory.
So 81 to 30 is the little score thing there. I would sometimes be like very objective weird with how I pursue them. So I would end up, you know, I'll destroy a whole lane of towers while everyone else is just fighting in the middle and like whatever. Sometimes things like that. Not even because, oh, you're so good or something, but because, you know, you're just kind of weird and you're thinking outside the box and going on your own and doing your own thing.
Learned the basic rules of arena. So let's finish this match. Reduce the enemy team's tickets
Oh,
to
shit.
0 to win.
Why are they called tickets? That sounds so stupid. Like what? They're just not allowed to come into the match, like, and watch because they don't have a ticket. They can't afford admittance. Like that's really the stakes of what we have here. See, normally you'd be caught out pretty bad. The mobility actually seems a little bit off because, you know, like is there no mobility ability that I have here that I could get away? You seem kind of slow and stiff and stuff. So I got to figure out the controls a little bit, which I'll check in a second here, but you know, you'd never be able to be this kind of just face roll though, right? Because they're always going to be coming after you, or I'm going in even too close. You got to measure everything at the max distance and everything like that. And like the way they chase you here is exactly textbook rule 101, that you don't do this, right? Why would they chase you this fucking far back, dude? Or why wouldn't they go after me, who's a presumably easier target too?
Congratulations, you have won your first game.
I don't even fully understand that. Like, it's not as clear as like going to their nexus and doing it like that, or I just wasn't even paying attention to it if that's what they were doing. Like, it happened almost too fast without me needing to do anything. Commend your team. Okay. Least damage taken, least damage taken. Thor, Ymir. What about me? Shouldn't I have the least damage taken? Mischievous Nath Skin. Okay, what is all this shit? Cross-gen pass. Whatever, that doesn't count towards anything, but I guess if we lost, that should still actually technically count. 3 kills, 0-0, 1 death, 2 assists, 2 deaths, 3 assists. So this is like a 3v3 matchup, which I'm not sure if that's going to be a standard. I don't even remember that much. I feel like 5v5 is always going to be the primary thing. But no, you would think you're playing against noobs for the most part. Or the one thing I don't think I'll like is if they make you play against bots. You know, like that obviously makes sense if we were doing it there, but North America West. Like 3v3 or 5v5. I guess either one of these could really count. Dominate your foes on a small team map with 1 lane. A thrilling battle in an open arena. I mean, I guess this is the whole point of the draw of the game, right? Conquest. I guess we could do any of them. Like, as long as they're team-based, that's still fine. I almost feel like I'd prefer the 3v3 because it might just be more to the point. I don't have to worry about, like, I won't even know what lane I'm in. And that's one thing that's almost funny about League, right? Like, if you play it like blind, it probably tells you now with the tooltips, but you wouldn't even know what lane you're necessarily in. Like, you know, based on some sort of role, you could figure it out, but this must be the free one, right? On the rotation. So I should almost make a point to try to play those. Because, or I would just go in order, like this is the first one, so I would just play as that. But is it going to tell me actually what lane you're supposed to be in? And I should turn off the chat and everything. But no, the one thing I want to see before I even play a game is, how the fuck do we turn off that stupid thing with the controls? Maybe it's meant to be like that for some reason, but X reticule, O none. That felt very awkward. Like, I don't know, you can't go up or anything. Invert look, it feels like it's inverted. Normal casting. Keyboard and mouse. I don't know what exactly it is that you're supposed to turn off that way. Distance line. There's just something weird stopping me from like looking up, which maybe you don't know, typically want to look up, but it normally doesn't matter. Friendly team blue and red. Why is that why does that even matter? So you can just change it for, I don't know, like angels and demons. It's got to be something related to the gods and the whatever. Gods and devils or something. Welcome to Battleground. Okay, so let me make sure all the stupid cringy voice chat and stuff like that would be off. But no, supposedly this is a casual game, so at least that should make it a little less competitive. But no, I find that hilarious. Like, you can play one of these games for a super long time before you even unlock the ability to play a ranked match, and yet people will still be so troll and like they'll try to act like they're so competitive and everything. Music, ambient, announcer notification, mute chat notification, copyrighted music is unmuted, probably should be muted. Of course, they put that sort of option in there just for streamers. Voice chat is off. I don't even want there to be fucking text chat, honestly. Unmuted. Like, and so that's sort of the upside and downside of the multiplayer aspect too, right? Whenever you're doing a multiplayer sort of gauntlet like this, is you might win a game or go on a good streak with a character, not because you're even playing well, so you get carried by them. So I'll go on a 10-game win streak even though I'm playing like garbage, and then I'll end up losing 5 champions in a row, right? Lose 5 games in a row just because my team sucks even though I'm playing well. So that's the double-edged sword. You got to take the good with the bad, where they'll be both. It doesn't really matter, I guess, because it's not even on. Voice chat's off. Mute voice chat unmuted. Wait, what? Isn't that the same thing, basically? Why does this seem like you're stuck? Shouldn't it? Left control, voice chat input. It still shouldn't even work, though. Let's put it on something like really weird that I wouldn't actually ever probably use. Push to talk, unmuted. Microphone volume 0, so that should be all fine. And then what about like the actual text element? HUD display, colorblind UI, ward ping enabled, mute all players. Yeah, just fuck it, dude. Full mute, show VGS of muted players, block chat messages from non-friends. Sure. It's just like, you know, maybe you could say, oh, that's not being a good team player, but it's like, just let me do whatever I want to do. And streamer mode, I don't know what that means. Oh, like if you want to avoid being sniped, maybe. VGX context ping enabled, chat messages while minimized enabled. Most of this shouldn't really matter. Mute self. What is VGS? I guess it doesn't matter. Why would it matter that I'm muting myself? I guess that is consistent with my namesake, the quiet gamer. But the only thing that's bothering me is the whole inability to like scroll up on the thing. Right, but anyway, let's just actually play a game, and the worst we have is just that we'll lose a champion, right? Lose our first one. But let's see how hyper competitive it is and what is supposed to be a casual game otherwise. But the biggest thing that's going to confuse the shit out of me is the shop, because I'm not going to understand how. Let me actually see if I can't find that option though. What is it that normal casting, quick casting, instant casting, I don't know what those mean. Invert look, it feels like it's already inverted, so I guess by inverting it you would uninvert it. Like it's like pilot controls, right? Like for flying games or something. Restricted camera pitch, maybe that's what it means. I would have to even test it. Controller sensitivity shouldn't matter. Mouse sensitivity, it's got to be at 100, because the better you are at aiming, the higher it's supposed to be. Preferred controls, keyboard and mouse. Not even preferred, like that's literally what I'm using. I assume that's what it is. Right, so let's just, or actually let me go into another, whatever, I'll just assume that's what it is. So let's just go ahead and try a 5v5. Or wait a second, how do I cancel this? I guess I can't. The normal ranked you probably can't even do at all for probably the whole length of the playthrough too. Hey Nightmare, how's it going? How do you actually cancel this queue if you want to? Guess maybe I just can't. What the fuck? I guess it doesn't matter, but no, and also I'm particular about that. Like I want to play as one hero only, so we'll start as that one, especially if we're on a streak with one. You made a Minecraft realm, nice. They'll show off obviously the skins here on the title screen, or the unfortunate thing is if the game itself is dead. So I want to play as Arikine, and I might actually do that because if these are ones that I just own, use God cards. What is this, Yu-Gi-Oh? So the point is that, oh yeah, we got to lock in. The point is that we're in a position where I also don't know the lanes or anything. I'll just assume, yeah, like really, how would you just know that innately, right? Pick role, guardian, hunter. How do you know that? Like, what am I supposed to be with them? Like, it's something innate to the character. You downloaded Warframe. I haven't played that in a super long time either. But no, maybe it doesn't matter even so much about the roles. Just go wherever the fuck you want and just do whatever the fuck you want because who cares? Especially at this low rank, it shouldn't really matter. But yeah, I should almost skip the ones that are in your collection already and abuse the ones that are on the free-to-play rotation. You shot 17 people? Nice. What do we have? Bellona, Cerebrus is obviously like the dog of hell or whatever. Ares, Nuwa. I don't know who Nuwa is. Bellona, Nath. Okay, so some of these people are obviously going to be using the free rotation ones too. In the game, yeah, obviously. No, is this another average day as an American? Am I right with all these stereotypes about Americans love guns? Okay, so I'm going to have no idea what I'm doing, and I don't even know if these are really players, but it's based on their names. I would assume it. Only clown bots would have numbers in their names, though, like 11 or 7447. Like what? Are there 7446 other people named Dead Angels? What is the thing with the shop? Or maybe there is no, there is a shop, but I don't know how it works or what I'd be expected to really do with it. You start at level 3. Or wait a second, isn't this 5v5 though? So like how... I guess the lanes are like not as spread out. Like, I don't know what I'm fucking supposed to be doing. Or you gotta not backpedal at all. I'll just kind of do whatever, dude. I don't really care. Or they're even still tutorializing stuff. Or is this like my... I'm supposed to be like a melee character maybe somehow? Oh shit. This person's getting wrecked. How are you able to just do this even? I don't get it. Like, they're just zerging us all on this point, but what the fuck is going on? They're overcommitting like crazy and they should almost be punished for it. So this almost makes it feel like a melee character, and I don't understand what this character is all about. The fuck is this? How am I supposed to play as a... What are the chances that my first one would be like that? Or like one of your things is going to be like a web that actually pulls them in or something? Why are we already starting with like all my abilities and stuff? Like, is this even actually the game? Is this like some precursor to the game before it actually starts or something? Come on. When in doubt, just spam your abilities. Even though I was clowning people for potentially assisted. I'm not really taking too much damage, even by overcommitting and stuff like that. These almost make it seem like these are bots because... Or like even the name is just saying that, so how do I know? But that means I'm still dying to a bot. Or no, it's just saying the name there as a general... What's the longest time you've ever gone through without taking a shower? Probably not too long, maybe just a couple days if I was like super busy or I just forgot. I don't really know. But no, it's like we started off with all our abilities and stuff like that. So the one thing I got to do is the shop, which I totally forgot to even do there too. Level up. Like, I don't even know how to do the shop. Like, what am I... Or is it like auto purchasing for me? It did say purchase katana or something. So, I mean, that's fine by me, even if there is a way to not do that. 17,000 gold is like our overall thing for the Whatever, I'll just sort of spam my abilities for now because I don't really need to know what's going on with them. So this is genuinely like a melee character though, which I guess kind of makes sense because your abilities are mainly to try to like, I admit I don't know what the fuck is going on, but how am I even hitting you there? I don't even get what's happening. This is like a very button mash friendly kind of game. Like, we're literally fucking, it's just like a fighting game. But no, it's much more visually entertaining. Like, isn't this more fun to look at than League of Legends, regardless of the nuances or intricacies of the mechanics? Like, you can actually see what's going on instead of it being so fucking zoomed out that it's super anti-immersion, breaking, and all this kind of stupid stuff. These don't really feel like players, but they could just be as bad as me and face rolling like total clowns. Yeah, we're already doing so good, and even if it's against low-rated bad competition, see, it says the champion's name, but that doesn't mean that it's not a player. Right, like it's all pretty much fine. Okay, there'll be those moments where that happens, or that would happen in Paladins a lot, where you go 100 to 0 like way too quickly. You are running the world record, and you are 316 days in. I don't know if that's the world record, dude. There are some people who just never shower their whole life. There was some news story I read like that, actually. Somebody who never cuts their nails, never cuts their hair, and they sort of do it on purpose. This must be a bot thing, dude. Fighting Fisherman, Flare bot. I mean, that one has bot even in the name. So I like the whole auto thing here with respect to auto purchasing that's going on, because that's what I would almost want to do anyway. It really feels like these are bots. Like, how can they be this bad? Not that I'm not still dying to them. In fact, I think I'm the only one who's died. I've died like twice by like sort of overcommitting, even though I'm sort of clowning these people, because they're playing like sort of too unnaturally and too aggressively. But it's possible that they could just actually be like that. Ken McDowell. Like, why would that be a bot's name? Of course, I don't know what any of the other mechanics are going to be about, but little spider on spider action here. Yeah, whatever the case may be, this is like way too easy. Right, like I don't know how I would explain this otherwise. And you might think, oh, of course, it's your first game, so of course it's going to be against bots, but it couldn't be that the players are bots. Like, I'm not the one who's making all this difference. But the way that they just are sort of running in and just letting themselves be set up to die is kind of stupid. But whatever, I'll live with it for now. Farming the tickets over here. Okay. It is like very straightforward. Like, the lanes aren't really very consequential, right? Like, whatever is happening with the lanes doesn't seem to really matter. What does right click even do, I wonder? It makes it seem like, oh, that would be some other thing, like a power attack, but it's really not at all. Okay, I'm probably gonna die at some point here. I don't know what G even is doing. Just spam all your abilities all the time. That can often be your best thing, because, you know, even if you don't use them optimally, it's better than just not using them at all. That can sometimes be the worst thing. Like, you save your ability, you save your ability. Yeah, I think I have the only 3 deaths too. What is my thing? I'm 5, 3, and 18. Doesn't really matter, but when you're 28 to 3 and I account for the only 3 deaths, I'm even mocking the fact that, like, oh, it seems like it'd be so, whatever, easy not to die, but I'm the only one who's dying. A dude that's never showered for 60 years, easy clap. Yeah, I mean, it's not going to kill you, but I don't know really why anybody would do it. Or no, now somebody else finally died. There's no way you can possibly lose this one if you're gonna... I mean, I guess you could still lose on an objective. But that's actually the best way to play League, too. Just turn off chat and don't worry about the toxicity and pseudo, whatever, egotism of everybody like the clown that they are. Just play it and then just enjoy it, and who cares? But they are pushing us back pretty well, despite the fact that we were dominating them so much in the beginning there. I mean, it is pretty satisfying when you get in this melee sense, but the fact of the matter is that this is maybe one of the worst heroes I could start with when I'm not really the type to want to play like that anyway. But no, mechanically it is very fun, even if I am just sort of button mashing and I don't know what the fuck is going on, but It's not like I really should need to know what's going on so much. And I'm not going to worry about just getting the final kill on some of these. I guess instead you were going for the world record of not wiping your ass. Okay. Now that could be very unpleasant, though. Like, how long is this going to go on for? Like, what are we even doing? Like, they go through the portal there a little bit and just... whatever. See, now you go, like, sort of over aggro, but it's kind of worth it because just fucking face roll everything. I don't care. Yeah, it's the arachnid difference. I'm so much better, right? They always say that. Arachnid diff. I'm so much better than my mirror matchup that's the reason why we're winning by such a wide margin. Oh, shit. I mean, sometimes despite how it's saying like, oh, this is so much easier to follow because the camera's zoomed in and stuff. And again, it's just even more enjoyable from a viewer perspective. Like, this should be more popular in esports than League for that reason alone. I just never liked those kind of perspective of games. Like, my whole channel art and prognostication around that is so clear, right? Like, my most hated videos ever and things like that, where it's just the fact that I hate the Diablo perspective, and yes, you can zoom in, and yes, some of the games aren't as zoomed out as they used to be, but it's still innately immersion breaking in my opinion. It seems like you move very slow and there's no way to like really, you know, that almost seems very intentional by the mechanics. Like, you're not really meant to be able to abuse your base movement speed. It wants you to rely on like a mobility ability or something of the sort. You're escorting this clown around here. World record is 2 years. I wonder who's really measuring that or keeping track of it, though. Yeah. So we have pretty much half the deaths, though, out of 7. But how are we not winning already? You were able to upgrade your shard to a new relic. That would be like G, but I don't know how exactly we're doing that. It is certainly very straightforward. Like, we're not getting punished for not doing anything like that or worrying about the shop too much. But like, yeah, it'll have a shop, but it'll also have auto purchasing. So it's like, what's the point, right? Why not just not even have a shop and just let it be about the base mechanics? Or, you know, I always said that in League, there should be a mode. They probably did add one at some point, but maybe not. There should be a mode that just doesn't have a shop. So it's just purely about the base mechanics, right? How fun would that be? So you still level up and you still do everything with your abilities, but there's just no shop at all, for better or for worse. And so you don't even have to worry about it, and you just see who is best at the actual game. Kind of like with win an arena match with more than 100 tickets remaining. If that was a multiplayer match, then why was it such a major mismatch? That seems kind of stupid. But no, it's like Super Smash Brothers on a Final Destination with no items. Like, the whole principle being just you want to focus on the base character things more than anything. Level 2, command your team, play again. Okay, let's just go back to the main menu. And let's just keep going, I guess, with that one. That was at least an encouraging first game against a bunch of bots. Whenever you do well, or whenever you rate matchmaking, 0 out of 10, because clearly it must be a bot. Like, how could they be that bad? Daniel Storm, Dead Angels, Bad Tooth, Victory or Nah. These sound like player names, but how is it possible? Aside from the one that actually has bot in the name. Like, I don't know, dude. Either way, I don't really care. We're already a higher level than we were on that other account. This looks actually pretty cool. Iron Fang. New cross-gen and her skin in the past. Of course, everybody's probably gearing up for SMITE too. In any case, like, nobody who is going to care about this. Why would you buy skins in this one? Or maybe it lets you transfer your stuff over. But no, this is always a game that I had a certain amount of respect for, and I kind of always wanted to play. I just never got around to doing it. Or I'm kind of like that with multiplayer games. I'll just play them a little bit and then that's it. Like, it doesn't mean I'll play them all the time. Unless it's chess or unless it's a card game, then I like get obsessed with them. So now we'll play, of course, with them again. And if I don't get them, then I actually direct unlock. What do you mean? Oh, I just misclicked that thing, I think. You know, like, so that's why this, oh, that thing looks sick. Oh, it's actually, I was going to say, it looks like a Cthulhu-type monster. Of course, Cthulhu is a god now, all of a sudden. I guess they are like the outer gods, right? Is what they're technically called. I always call them the old gods since I'm such a Warcraft fanboy. But it's supposed to have like a little accent or something on there, isn't it? I like how they just use the name though outright. Like, I thought they would extrapolate on some of these names. Izanami, Nemesis, Poseidon. In a way that's kind of lazy. Like, they're just using them in a very raw, direct sense. Like, anybody could do that. Like, everybody's gonna use some of these same character archetypes, but that doesn't mean they actually just call them exactly what they are. Bacchus, Mercury. Let's see if we get a more competitive matchup here. Not that I really want that, because we can just go on a crazy win streak. Like, I didn't do too well in either the Overwatch or the Paladin's Gauntlet, whether it be an individual performance or overall team performance, because of the streaks that I went on and stuff like that. So, I don't know. Like, I'll take blame for that regardless of anything else. And I'm kind of surprised because, again, you are playing at a lower rank, so it doesn't mean that you have to be expected to play at a super high level. Yeah, that looks pretty fucking sick. I don't know if that's the special skin that he's using. Dude, why does everybody just clump up there every single time? And why is he so eager to do that? Like, how can he just do that by himself? Like 1v5. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Why do they clump up here? There must be some strategic reason. Mana camp. Whatever, I guess we just go all in and just deal with it. Whatever, I went maybe a little too aggressively in there for something. We're losing to some fucking random tiger type NPC. You know, we should just not die and just go back and heal. This one at least looks far more competitive. It's already 2-2 before, you know, before anything's even happened at all. But no, these maps aren't as big or anything as what you'd expect, so that in itself lends itself to simplicity and maybe the whole casual element that people are always talking about with it. It even says that. That's like the first thing it says, like on Google, is that, oh, it's a casual MOBA or something. Like, that's such a negative stigma that it doesn't need. Like, maybe that's its intent. Okay, that's like some sort of warp ability. I don't know what anything does, and I'm just randomly doing stuff, but the biggest thing that's interesting is how slow you seem to all move, which is kind of a good thing in a way, that you can't cheese and just like kind of strafe back and forth and do all this crazy shit, but you should be able to kill them, dude. Come on. All this melee fucking limited movement shit. It's 3-4. Everybody of theirs is just low on health, but we can't really seem to get in there, and I'm not the one to do it. I literally don't even know what my abilities do. I should at least look at that much. Yeah, these don't go very far for whatever it's worth. But no, like, both teams are playing like way too aggressively. Like, let's just relax and do the objective a little bit and stuff like that. Or you know what I want to see is, like, I want to see Faker play this game or something. Like League of Legends pro player plays this, just to see like what they'd make of it. Like, I was joking about that with Paladins. I want to see Shroud play Paladins, like, just to how much would his skill and CSGO and stuff translate. And like, this guy's being way too aggressive and not getting punished for it. Like, how are you not getting punished for it? Okay, I guess you do. But no, visually I like it more than a lot of these other games, and mechanically, you know, it's pretty fun, although I'm getting kind of clowned here a little bit. C and Z you can both use. Take out these clowns here, backpedaling like the clown that I am over here. You know, I should just go back. Okay, our team is playing like very clownish, dude. Not that I've done very much myself, but it's just like, you don't have to be as aggressive as what they're doing. Remember my classic combo of Exhaust and Ignite from Kale in fucking League? Oh wait, you don't, because I wouldn't have streamed it then, and they fucked over Kale that you can't do it anymore now. Everybody would always question, why do you have Exhaust and Ignite? But I get these early game awesome kills, and it's actually worth it and very fun and very satisfying. Makes me seem like maybe more of an aggressive player than what I necessarily am, but yeah, I waste all my time and effort doing these stupid You know, not even the final hit. Like, you may as well just let the AI do all the work for you and just do the final hit on everything. But this is just like such a face roll type of experience. You remind me of Mytha from fucking Dark Souls 2. That's reason enough to feel like, would a player really play like this where they just ignore what you're doing the whole time? Like, maybe they would, but it'd have to be an even bigger clown than me, and that just kind of worries me that, like, at what point are we going to be playing against bots, or how are we going to know when it's going to end and stuff like that? Doesn't mean that we're not necessarily still dying to them, but I guess actually this game I maybe haven't died, but the score is actually pretty even, where I feel like, why would you dive in like that when you have no potential recourse even against it? Sometimes they're so tanky though, like, even though they're just standing there and not, you know, even making any effort to get away or play defensively, they still last fucking forever. No way you're gonna kill me before I kill you. The fuck? Happy Ashley has killed a player. But what I want to know is, are these people actually players? Because that still doesn't prove it. Like, oh, clearly they're good enough to kill you, so therefore they're a player. No, I could just be that I'm a clown, and so it doesn't matter. But at least these games are starting off easy, whether they are against bots or not. Like, really, how would you know? T Brown take you down. That sounds like a player's name. Gank Master Fresh. These all sound like players. The first game was so lopsided that I almost can't believe it. Like, clearly I must be so good that I would have made that big of a difference, but why would it have been like 40 kills to 2? Like, how bad could those people possibly be? Hey, go ahead, knock those 2 clowns out. This Cthulhu dude looking as slick as ever. This dude on his fucking horse. Okay, dude. I'm just expecting, like, people to be a little less tanky than actually what they are, but this is that little fucking escort dude, which I assume is a priority target, but I also don't want to tank it myself. Friendly siege minion has appeared. There's like the inhibitor equivalent, like a super minion sort of spawn. What? Must have been an alt or something. You are unable to upgrade your, or you are able to. I don't know how you even do it though. 362 to 253. Like, we should easily still win this, but at least this is a more competitive kind of game. Everybody just plays so aggressively though. Like, nobody really even feels like they're trying to play for an objective or something. We're just all fighting in the middle like a clown, and it's still fun and it's fine, and objectives are happening, but nobody, you know, you don't have to worry about the towers. You don't have to worry about any of those other little minute elements. I guess I thought it would be more like that in a 3v3 context, but this is the same map that we get to see for a 5v5, so the lanes are so shrunk in that you don't even have to worry about the size of the map or anything. So the gold total is never really that different, even despite the fact that, you know, despite the fact that basically, okay, I'm playing too aggressively and I'm gonna get myself killed as a result, and I haven't actually used the shot manually at all, if you're even able to. I don't know why I don't really even remember that. Like, maybe there really is no shop that you can manually access, because it just keeps happening on its own. Every time I go to base, it just purchases something for me, which is kind of what I want anyway. I don't want to have to worry about it, but maybe later on you will have to. I don't get why it starts off like that, though. You start at level 3, and you start with all your abilities, so, like, what's the point? I thought you had to do that. Like, everything is just happening automatically, which is perfect for my purpose, but I almost feel like I'm playing somehow some wrong game mode. Okay, now we gotta be on the defensive a lot more. Oh shit, now we're gonna get fucking spawn camped or something. May as well just go back into here. Are they actually gonna make a comeback? Because you can always be winning, but then you still lose on some sort of objective element. Like, you know, they'll wipe you one time, even though they're down like 50 in the score, right? The kill death score for the game, and they'll win because whatever, right? They just zerg your base one time, and that's all it takes necessarily. Yeah, the way that people sort of face tank stuff is surprising. Like, what did that guy hope to accomplish, really? Nobody ever seems to come, like, directly for you, so that's what makes it seem so robotic. Like, they're not really reacting to what you're doing. They're just kind of moving in a straight line, doing their own thing, and just whatever. I have a hard-on for taking out this archer, just because it feels like the perfect match for, like, you know, your CC is going to come through and, whatever, punish somebody for trying to play at a range. Yeah, that's fine. We're still a good amount of health here. Yeah, this is way more fucking face roll right off the bat than I would have thought. Nobody's even trying to do anything else. Let's just farm this fucking clown archer the whole goddamn game. Just because I'm jealous of not being able to play a ranged character myself. 38 to 18. Although I am playing kind of carelessly, like just because we feel like it's so easy. 11, 4, and 12. Isn't that the best ratio, though? If anybody, I'm clearly the best player here. Or the players on my team must be bots, too. So everybody's a bot besides me. Because you just can't accept that people are that bad. Have you played Overwatch at a low rank, or have you played Paladins at a low rank? Because you'll get your ass fucking beat by tryhards who are apparently just playing an unranked or at a low rank for some reason, right? Like, it's so competitive for no reason. I'm not saying it can't be competitive or that that's a bad thing. I'm saying that basically, you know, you expect that it wouldn't be that crazy at a lower, oh shit, at a lower rank necessarily. And a cheese with your base and the healing. I'll still kill this fucking archer before anything else. It just makes me happy to pick on that character for some reason. Kill this clown, who again, as I'm hitting them, they're going to ignore me. They're neither going to run away, nor are they going to fight back, just because they're clearly a bot. Yeah, they'll just run past you, ignore you, try to fight that, maybe because that is at least a relevant objective, but it still doesn't really matter even. Face roll to the combat, face roll to the shop, face roll to the abilities, like nothing even matters, dude. I don't even know exactly what some of my abilities do, like I can kind of guess, but it doesn't make a difference. Cthulhu just showing off at this point with his badass appearances. This is not even entirely what I was expecting. Happy Ashley is just fucking farming me, though. They must be a real player. Every single time I die, it's to her. The 159 to 4, that's the stupid ticket counter. So obviously we're going to win that no matter what. So I should end with the best stat line, too. Yeah, look, Happy Ashley is actually a good player. 15, 8, and 9. She's literally Caitlin Clark. She's farming a good stat line in a loss, right? Like how people are making fun. She always loses the championship game, so you're getting hyped up for nothing. But I mean, that's not really your fault on an individual basis. I hate how much the media will do that, though. Like, they'll co-opt one person and just focus on them. It doesn't mean they're not good or whatever, but it's just like they kind of ride one person way too hard. Like, they're doing that with Anthony Edwards now, too. Like, just he's so hyped up out of nowhere. Okay, so I guess we can do, like, one more. This was at least a satisfactory introduction, but maybe, like, the first 5 games you play are just against bots. So at least that means we'll go on a 5-game win streak and then promptly lose after that. Commend your team. Continue. Fine. So where does it show like your whole overall record? And of course, we're basically just going practically in alphabetical order, but also the rotation one, I have a certain bias towards doing. The problem is, since we're going to go on such a good win streak with some of these, I would have to buy it for, you know, this amount right? And I won't be able to afford that necessarily. So like if she's off the rotation next week, I'd still want to continue with her, but I might not be able to, right? So that's going to be the problem. So there are a lot to choose from here, and I'm going to have to rely on the rotation stuff. I guess I could leave it hanging and say, okay, she's still alive, but then I can't play as her until she's back on the rotation. But then I'll play as somebody else in the meantime. But it's kind of more satisfying if you do it straight in a row, like just play as that character until you lose and then move on to the next one from there. In fact, this game almost seems more suited. But you would think Paladins wouldn't have been that competitive. I don't know what was going on. You can say I'm just bad, but there's also an element. Wow, this dude looks sick. This is like some version of Ganondorf almost. Like Demise from Skyward Sword or something. What did I want to look at, though? Does it show like your past record or something? Of either with the character or abilities? Yeah, stats. Show me like my win-loss record. Or no, that's just for base stats. God Builder. This will like tell you what your item tree is, but is there no way to actually go in the shop like manually? Like, not that I really even want to, but it does seem like it's just doing everything automatically. Show me like my character stats. Yeah, 12 gods, 1 god skin, 1 ward skin, match played, role played, god played, conquest year 11. Does that mean how many years the game has actually been out for? Let's see, accolades, achievements, ranked, history, or it's like not even counting these games because they're such garbage, unranked trash, or against bots or whatever they might be. But whatever, I mean, that's why we have it on video, so it speaks for itself. So let's do one more, which will clearly be another easy win, not to get overconfident. And I mean, we could just do this one game mode, the whole thing. A large strategic map with 3 lanes. Yeah, that would be the one, but there's no obligation that I have to fucking do that shit. This has been pretty fun and fast paced. I guess I could rotate. Like if I lose with this one, then the next character I can do with the other game mode. And then the next one I can, I can keep rotating around. Why does it keep making me try to buy that? I'm not really trying to click on it. Yeah, this is actually pretty fun though. Not just because we're winning either, but it's just more straightforward, and I was worried about the shop and other shit. I think I remember playing the other mode more, right, where it is like a bigger map, but I guess for this purpose you don't really have to worry about it. Like the lanes and stuff. Maybe I'll do that. Like I'll pick a character for... I don't know. Because you want to feel like you're doing other game modes too, but I'll just keep doing this one forever because it's just very straightforward. For a filthy casual like me, this is as if it's not a casual enough game already. I really hate that it's described as that though. Like Overwatch is casual, Paladins is casual. League of Legends can be casual if you want to play it like that. Like just don't use the shop, or I would totally do my own format like that too. A no shop format. So just do whatever you want with the character, but no shop allowed at all. Right, that just removes that whole dynamic, and that might favor certain characters over others too. But right, like some characters maybe rely on items and things like that more. But yeah, this will be my Wednesday series for now. Did not make a selection. What do we have to do? Go 4 on 5? What the fuck? It just cancels the whole thing. What I don't like with some of these games is it doesn't make it super clear that you do not have enough player experience. Dominate your foes. Yeah, I think that's what I'll do. I could just rotate. Like, if I lose as this character, I'll do the next character on there. And then if I lose, then I'll do this one. And then if I lose, I'll, just to give it some variety. Because I don't know how else to do it. In Paladins, it would be more like random, right? You would choose between all the, like, you would queue up, and it would give you one of all the game modes. You can have them all selected at once. So here, it's just like I'm sort of manually able to choose whatever I want. But this one does seem very fun, and it kind of defeats the whole purpose of a 5 on 5. I thought the point of a 5 on 5 would be that it would have 3 lanes, but that's the other mode, obviously. Galactic Frontier. But yeah, this is like a late stage in the game's lifespan too, so I caught it just in time, where if I had done this any later, because I was already stalling it out, this sort of marks the end of my whatever Wednesday format, like where I was doing that for a while. So I did that once, right? I can't remember when I did it the first time of this channel. Like, I did it once where I just do sort of random categories every Wednesday with no sort of context or structure, and then it's showing me a fucking like ad every time I do that. So I did that, then I did Paladins, or maybe Paladins was ongoing, but the point is, I did Paladins, and I took a break by doing the Return to Whatever Wednesday, where I introduced a whole bunch of formats, like my console checklist, and my PS Plus Gauntlet, and my Nostalgia Gauntlet, right? All these kind of things. My little Webcam Wednesday mini-series, where I'm, like, solving a Rubik's Cube and doing my Kindle Scribe. And so, at the end of that, right, we did the Nostalgia Gauntlet, and I lost my Donkey Kong 64 permadeath run on the first session of it, no less. So now we segue into SMITE, and then when this is over, I can do the Whatever Wednesday again. But no, it's good timing, because if I had dragged it out any longer, I might have just felt compelled to play SMITE 2, or I might have, you know, I might have just missed the boat to whatever player base this might have. Whereas now, if anything, it might be even better than it's been in the last couple of months, because even if the game wasn't that active, although it seems active, there'd be a certain hype, like everybody wants to play this before everybody's gonna move on to SMITE 2, and then you won't be able to. But that must have been a long time coming. Like, you must have heard about SMITE 2 years ago, and now it's finally coming out. Or, it wouldn't have just come out of nowhere. It just feels like that to me, because I just haven't heard anything about it. What are you, holding a fucking pencil? What kind of a skin is that? Raw holding a pencil. I've heard of pencil pushers, but this is ridiculous. Okay, why are we getting cucked out of the lobbies now? It would imply that you would be playing against players then, because you wouldn't have to wait and go through all this stuff against bots. Yeah, let's just play one more game. That'll be satisfactory, at least for an intro session. And performance-wise and everything, it seemed relatively okay. There was sort of just one issue with the camera, but I think that's just that one setting that I turned off, where like you can't look up for whatever reason. It wants it to be even more tunnel vision and face roll than it already is necessarily, which isn't even necessarily a bad thing. Athena skin, yeah. Is there like Aphrodite in here too? Could be like a poison ivy type vibe or something. Bacchus, Bellona, cock. Or imagine in this day and age, somebody will get offended by this, and it's like it's somehow sacrilegious to portray gods in this manner, but is Jesus Christ in here? Is like, what other, you do have some Christian related stuff like Cerebrus, the dog of hell or whatever. Sobek is like an alligator or some shit. His body is like sort of out of proportion though, isn't it? Like he's too small on the bottom. You're gonna give PTSD of King K. Rool from my just recently failed Donkey Kong 64 run. I love how every time you quit out of a rare game too, it'll do that. Like where in Banjo-Kazooie, I remember that, like it would show Gruntilda taking the one girl and like stealing her youth, and then shows up as like a younger witch or something. Like, in other words, it's showing you like the game over screen just by you simply quitting out of the game. I don't get the whole role selection either, because isn't the character innately meant to have a certain preference for its role? So like, I can't just be whatever I want, but it's treating it like you can. Yeah, I'm gonna take a caster mage and play it like a tank. Like I'm supposed to be a squishy mage. So Poseidon, Erling Shen, Nemesis, Apuk, Yan Yu, Niza. Why they gotta have all the hard to pronounce names on their side? Yeah, we'll just end up playing as this chick literally forever. And I certainly would say it's not to my preference that you're such like a close range type of character. It would almost make you seem like you're meant to be a tank sort of type yourself, but I don't seem to be getting punished for it too hard. It's just more a case of, I don't know, like you'll get in the mix and then you'll get dropped 100 to 0 very quickly if they actually focus on you, but somehow they're just not. Because there's no other way to really play it. You have to just kind of go in there and face roll. Okay, let's make sure we don't lose this one. So all the enemies are going to clump up right around here for some reason, because they always seem to do that. Attack speed camp. Right, like both sides just always meet right here. But the problem is that you know, you gotta at least come with the whole team if you're gonna do that. Right, like sometimes the one guy just came by himself the last time. See, this would be my specialty, like a typical Kale moment. You get these kills in the early game just like that. Now, how do you get out of here? Just by backpedaling away or some shit of the sort. Like, I'm gonna die and I'm not gonna be able to get away, and so it's fine. Like, what the fuck? Using like my little dinky potions and stuff. You know, you should never try to really run away even a lot of the time in these games. Like, you should just try to go for the, like, accept the fact that you're gonna die anyway, and so just go for the kill and try to take them with you. That's always a principle in League of Legends, at least, like, you know. So now I'm playing 2 casual games on my weekly schedule, the fucking PvZ Heroes, and then this as well. I feel like they're making it kind of too easy, where I can't imagine like, why would players play like this? Are they really just this dumb and this bad? Like, it's sort of unsatisfying in a way. But then if they're too good, then I complain about that too. But that's not going to hit him at all, is it? Yeah, like they just go out in the open and just don't give a shit. Okay, 7-3, assisted. Yeah, I'm mostly farming and racking up assists more than anything else. Fuck, how do you not kill that guy? That would always happen, like where you would, you know, get somebody like 1 HP and then nobody finishes them off. I would always bitch about that, like in Paladins. Because clearly it's not my fault for like missing a shot that I should have obviously made. So please have my teammates make up for my own shitty aim. But no, there's like a lack of focus firing that ends up happening. All right, let's go maybe back to base because I am getting pretty low. So 9-3. What is my thing here? 2, 1, and 6. Yeah, whenever you feel like you're gonna die, why not just go back to base? Especially when it's so easy to do here. Like, even your recall button doesn't matter. It almost doesn't make sense because it's like, you know, why would it make any difference if you just, yeah, you gotta go in there and make sure you finish somebody off. Okay. Like, you may as well just keep abusing it, but you don't even have to use your recall ability. And the reason why is because you're so close to it anyway. Like, the map is not big at all. This map is like such a joke. It may as well just be, yeah, it's just a straight up battle arena. Nothing else even matters or anything. Yeah, I keep wasting that ult, I feel like, but doesn't even really feel like that much of an ult. This guy's really tanky, but it almost still doesn't matter because he's just kind of 1v1ing us. Get out of there for now. But yeah, why recall when I can just run back? Like, how quick must the recall thing be? Come on, come on. You can't catch up a fucking spider. Haven't been this disappointed in a spider since that one guy who gets shot in the foot in Goodfellas. Right? I don't know why they even call him Spider. Like, it's a nickname, right? They can't be his actual name. Okay, now I'm face rolling even a little bit too hard. Yeah, so you just keep abusing this and it doesn't matter. 18-5. Clearly, I'm the common denominator to the extent that, you know, why we're doing so good. It can't just be that they're all bots, and if they are bots, then why does it even make sense? Because it's like, you know, why would it matter? Because how can it be so one-sided that, like, our team isn't, like, either both teams are bots and I'm just so good that our team is dominating their bots, or we're not bots and both teams are players. But why would it be like our team is players and their team is only bots? Like, how does that make sense? But they'll be sort of mixed in a way that's kind of hard to even identify. Okay, this is good. Just face roll as usual. Probably should try to get this clown chick first, though. Now we're going to be like too overconfident once we go against an actual good team because we haven't really had that happen yet. Yes, of course, genius idea. Just jump back behind us and make yourself even easier to kill. But the way they kind of chase like this is so unnatural. Like, what do you even think you're going to accomplish by doing this? Everybody is just so fucking headstrong, face roll aggressive. To the point where I don't even care about that at all either. Yeah, this one's pretty dominating too. It still takes a while to actually win, but I mean, it almost feels like a foregone conclusion. Like, at what point, what the fuck is this? Like, at what point would you, and I'm still not dead. At what point would it be like it's impossible for them to come back, so the game just auto ends, even though, you know, like you're up by such an extreme margin? And even this is like sort of oversimplified. One siege minion comes out instead of the whole inhibitor, and you know, it's done in a much more singular way. So 31-7. This is what I expected paladins to actually be like, where it would be much more face roll and whatever. And I'm really being stupid here, but let's just die. Fuck it. Because they're so focused on the siege minion, they don't even care about me, but you kind of need a little more support. But when would they ever let me get away with doing that? Because it's like, it's almost like I'm trying to die just to test how bot-ish they're behaving. Why wouldn't they have killed me there when I'm like 1v5 and they're just ignoring me? Maybe I'm not that big of a threat, so they wouldn't prioritize me, but even then. Imagine if we still somehow lose like an objective that way, though. Just because we get so overextended and overconfident like that. If there was nothing I was even accomplishing there besides simply face roll, you know, just almost testing them. How have minions reached our portal? Okay, just let them face roll themselves to death. They're not very good at getting away either. Maybe there aren't as many mobility type abilities where, okay, now it almost feels like I'm just dying on purpose, but I still have only died 3 times. Oh shit, but my stat line isn't the best anymore. 9, 3, 19 versus 10, 0, 18. Not that it matters, but I should always be able to take singular credit that I'm by far the best person, even though the standard here is not very high. The fuck? That chick wants to act like she's Lux or somebody. This is the way her attacks look and everything. Assisted. Why do the gold values always feel so similar, even if you're up by so much? It's 38-11, but we're only up by like 6k gold on the count there. Feels like it should be much more drastic than that. You know, this is like a 1v5 moment, so like, why should we even bother there? No matter how bottish and bad they are. Oh shit, shit, shit. But they still always give you enough time. Like, look how easy that is and look how close it is. And I don't know what happens here. Like, there is some sort of turret-esque mechanic, but I'm not really seeing exactly how it works. Right, once they're in that sort of circle or whatever of your base. Fuck. Look at them just sort of zerg down. What could you hope to accomplish there at all? No, I should try to play a little better despite the fact of whatever, just because it's easy for now, you shouldn't develop bad habits. Sounds like me describing my chess play. Like, just because you're playing at a low rank in chess, low rating, doesn't mean that you should develop all these bad habits that are going to hurt you when you get to a higher level. Yeah, it's very straightforward, very fun. And just stand in the fucking thing. It doesn't even really matter. Can we get him? Can we get him? No. Sand Mouse is killing it over here. Oh, now they're gonna really try to make a comeback or like do something, dude. Like, how is it this lopsided though? It seems kind of crazy. I like actually the stiffness of the movement a little bit. So it means that you'll either have like a mobility ability or you just won't be able to get away from anything or even chase people down. So what was my stat line? Basically 12, 13, 12, 3, 29. It's definitely not the best stat line, but these other teams are just getting fucking rolled over to the point where I would refuse to believe it's not a bot, even though they have usernames and they're having to queue up like everything. Right, as if they are players. Least deaths, least damage taken, top damage. Yeah, this is almost too easy, but it's not really making it clear what's happening. Announcer pack. I wonder what copyright music they would even have in here. You've received a commendation for excellent teamwork. Okay, dude. Get out of here. Yeah, this game doesn't seem toxic at all. Oh wait, that's just because I turned off the chat, so you wouldn't even know the difference. But it doesn't seem quite like that kind of game, which is partly sometimes the game's fault, but that's partly also just how people are. Like, regardless of whatever, you know, you can take any game really seriously if you want to, right? All these things that we're doing are so suboptimal. We're just getting away with them because everybody sucks. But yeah, I wouldn't even know whether we're playing players or not. So we could have gone through one whole episode with the same hero. Like, this will be a better streak than any of the characters that we did in Paladins, just because, you know, it's just so face roll one way or another. Whether it is bots or not, it's, you know, it's substantially easier and less competitive than you would have expected. Melee physical assassin. See, now how can I queue up as a tank though and choose my role if my role is technically an assassin? High single target damage, great jungler. Difficulty average. Okay, see you tomorrow.